Buenos días y bienvenidos al Forest Lake Morning Show. Yo soy Brendan y este es Tyler. Y today, we're going to be catching you up on some of the things you might have missed in the industry this past week.
Okay, that was actually pretty impressive.
You like that?
Yeah,
we've been learning.
I wasn't expecting that. Are you still learning?
Kinda.
Ah, well, you sound like you're learning.
Hey.
Wow. Little Dora the Explorer over here. Brendan the Explorer. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. We
What
have
you
a lot
got?
of information today, don't we?
Kinda.
Well, you didn't think so originally,
Kinda.
but we actually do, because in the music business, there's always something happening. You just have to dig for it. So with that, we're going to start off with the things that we always talk about first.
Top 10.
The top 10 out of the Billboard Hot 100. Miley Cyrus, 6 weeks straight with Flowers. By the way, 7th single since 2020. So of the 2020s, this is only the 7th single to go for 6 weeks consecutively. Up there with Olivia Rodrigo's Driver's License, and I think an Ariana Grande song, among others. I think Ed Sheeran as well. However, the song is actually decreasing in unit volume of like actual listeners. So although it's 6th week straight at number 1, it's actually decreasing in how many people are actually
So it
listening
takes
to
6 weeks for someone to get sick of a song, is what you're saying. They'll listen to it for 6 weeks and then they kind of just die.
How long does it take you to get sick of a song?
Less than 6 weeks.
Really?
If you're sure.
Do you listen to a song that you just like first heard and you're like, oh my God, I got to listen to this over and over and over again?
Yeah,
you do that?
There is something about the song where like you hear it for the first time and you almost don't like it because it's so new and you're like, wait a minute, let me play that again.
Let me play it again.
Let me play that again.
And then the next thing you know, it's
keep
literally
going.
just on repeat.
It's on repeat. It goes to your on repeat playlist in Spotify and you're listening to it. I'd say like 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
2.5
Every day
to
on
3
repeat.
weeks. Yeah,
It's just part
that's
of the
almost
process.
a daily listen. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed too, like, there's cycles with everything. Like, I'll go months listening to Coldplay and then months listening to U2.
Right.
Right now, it's months. I'm like on a big Spanish music kick. Anyway, Telepatia is a song that I have been streaming on repeat as of this week. And you tell me it's a TikTok song, and it ruined it for me. I stopped listening to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're like, oh, yeah, that's a TikTok song.
You know what's interesting is some people only like their playlist is all TikTok songs.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know what? I don't like your taste in music anymore. Like,
Yeah, speaking of TikTok, believe it or not, we will be talking about it later today because we always talk about it. For as much as we hate it.
And you know what? Last time you brought that up, I said, it's only you. You bring it up you're like, you know what, guys? I hate to do it. We talk about this every week, but I got news on TikTok. It's you again this week.
Listen,
I don't have any TikTok
because
news.
I have to bring it up.
Do you though?
Yeah. Well, first of all, most people have TikTok. Most people know about TikTok, and it's gonna look. We'll talk about it later when we bring it up. But I have to. All right. Let's finish this top. These people have just been waiting for the Hot 100. We haven't.
Wait. We starting at 10, going down?
No, we're going 1 to 10 this time. We're not doing no countdown this week. It fit last week because of the song. You had the information on Miley Cyrus.
That's fair.
Number 2, still at number 2 for looks like 2 weeks straight at number 2. Kill Bill by SZA. Number 3, Creepin' Metro Boomin' has moved up from 5 to 3. New song here, number 4 from 14. It was at 14 last week. It is out now at number 4. Boy's a Liar Part 2 by Pink Pantheress and Ice Spice. First of all, Ice Spice.
What a mouthful.
Ice Spice is a sweet freaking name.
Ice Spice.
I wish I came up with that. But I haven't heard that song. I don't think you have either. We'll check it out here. Morgan Wallen has fallen from 3 to 5 with Last Night. Sam Smith and Kim Petras have fallen from 4 to 6 with Unholy. Die For You by The Weeknd is up 1 from 8 to 7. Taylor Swift down from 7 to 8. Cuff It is down from 6 to 9. And last but certainly not least is I'm Good by David Guetta. And Baby Rexha is fallen 1 spot from 9 last week to number 10 this week. And with that, we present to you the Billboard Top 10.
Top 10.
Which we are not sponsored by Billboard at all to speak on behalf of.
Yeah.
Not yet.
I like it. So I got some news.
Yes, what happened this week?
Oh, man. I think there should be a time when the big bands just call it. You know, like...
AC/DC. U2.
No. Who else you got?
The Jonas Brothers.
The Jonas Brothers. Yeah, but like you have all these hair metal bands that were thriving in the 70s, 80s, 90s, even the early 2000s, but it gets to a point where they can't do it anymore.
Okay.
And you're like, I shouldn't have seen that show because now like my perception of them is different. You ever have an artist like that? Like
where you see a
them?
show?
You see a show or
a live show of the band.
Yeah, and they just can't do it anymore.
Not yet. Because the last time I saw AC/DC, they were still kicking ass.
Oh yeah.
Now I don't think so.
We saw that show together.
You were there as well. Yeah. Not together, like we weren't there together, but we were in the venue separately.
Guns N' Roses.
Oh, Guns N' Roses.
Guns N' Roses now just announced a European and North American tour. Tickets went on sale Friday. And Axl can't sing. I'm sorry.
You don't think so?
He can't sing anymore.
Have you seen him live?
Yeah.
When was the last time you saw him?
I haven't seen them live, but like live videos of them playing like recently.
Welcome to the jungle.
Yeah.
We got a fun and game. I'll step in.
Yeah, dude, it's better than he's doing it.
Knows his name.
They're playing all the songs like a half step down, full step down, step and a half down. Just
okay, but dude, you know they're gonna sell tickets.
They're gonna sell tickets.
They're gonna sell tickets.
Yeah. Speaking of which, though, what is interesting is they're using Ticketmaster's dynamic pricing schedule. That's what it's called.
Okay.
So I guess with Ticketmaster, you can either have like a fixed ticket price, like hey, nosebleeds are all going to be $95.
Yeah.
Or you can do what Ticketmaster has, and they're calling it dynamic pricing schedule, which basically means if no one is interested and no one wants to go to that concert, tickets are going to be dirt cheap. If everyone's trying to go, tickets are going to be crazy expensive. Like the whole T-Swift thing with Beyonce, tickets are going for like thousands of dollars because everyone's trying to go to these shows. But on the other side of that, on the flip, there's a show, Bruce Springsteen. And Bruce Springsteen is kind of notorious for having very expensive ticket prices because he puts on a 3-hour show. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, he's also using this dynamic pricing schedule from Ticketmaster. Tickets drop down to $6 because no one's going to Tulsa, Oklahoma to see Bruce Springsteen. No. They'll go see him in New York or LA. But
what are your thoughts on that? Like, would you rather have the stadium filled, or would you rather have bigger
fill
profit?
the stadium. It sucks playing to an empty stadium.
I would say so too, especially when you're. Yeah, I think it's just the consequence of being an older band that appeals to an older generation, right? Like you kind of lose the younger crowds today that maybe only know "Sweet Child of Mine" as a TikTok song and not a Guns N' Roses smash hit. That's the thing.
Like people will, like younger people will be coming to see them, but like maybe they've heard one or two songs and that's it.
Or because their parents forced them to go.
Yeah, and they're gonna go listen to Axl sing for 2 hours. No.
Yeah. It is interesting because like Taylor Swift probably doesn't need to do dynamic scheduling, and even if she did, the tickets would still be pretty high because there's going to be such a high demand. Like you don't.
I think they're all doing that right now, and that's why they are so high.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I would go see them. I grew up listening to them because classic rock and roll from my parents. My mom loves Guns N' Roses. Plus Slash. I mean, come on, dude.
Oh, Slash still kills it right now.
Yeah, I'd go see them. I haven't seen Guns N' Roses, so I would see. Are they coming to Florida?
They are coming to Hollywood, Florida, so East Coast.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it though.
Hollywood, Florida. I feel like, side note, but places like that shouldn't exist. You shouldn't have a Hollywood, Florida if you have like Hollywood, California. You know what I mean? Is Hollywood a city in California, or is it just like it's just a nickname? They call it Hollywood. The big Hollywood sign. Is that the actual city?
Question. I actually don't know.
All right, we're going to skip over this to make it seem like we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So I always thought, though, like kind of touching on that, Kentucky, they have nothing original. Like
Kentucky Fried Chicken.
No. It's like city-wise. Like the names of their cities.
The names of their cities
are just places from like anywhere else.
Really?
Like they're just, it drove me nuts too because I'd have to drive through Kentucky a lot.
What if those are the original names and the other cities aren't the original names?
You think so, though?
Louisville? What other city is named Louisville?
I don't know. Look, after this, I will bring you up at least 10 examples.
Okay. And, all right. Yes. Post-podcast.
Post-podcast. The post-show.
Maybe we'll talk about it again. The post-show. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, moving forward on Guns N' Roses. We do have something new that I'll bring up with TikTok is the reason Die For You has become such a hit that we've talked about and why it's on the charts is because of TikTok. It's a TikTok trend, and I looked it up. I had to find it on Google because I obviously am not on TikTok. And I guess during the song, they look at the camera and they're like rugged. You know, the person is rugged, or they're just like in their wake up outfit. Then they turn away, and then they right at the beat hits a certain spot. They look back and it's like a cut to them like beautiful or like dudes with their shirts off and like flexing their abs, and like girls in like really dolled up dresses or stuff. I guess that's the trend, and I guess that's why it's on TikTok trending right now.
You hopped on the trend?
No, I would never do that. I'm trying to hop off all social media. It's not good for marketing in Forest Lake, but it's good for the mind.
Yeah, wait, carry on.
And just living life. But this is why "Die for You" by The Weeknd is very popular right now, because it's a song from 2017. I think it was released, maybe like 2016. So what did he do? He was smart. He's like, I'm just going to go ahead and make a remix with Ariana Grande, and it's probably going to profit off of it really well. We listened to it. It honestly is quite boring. I honestly didn't think it was that spectacular. Everything's the same except for
it's the same thing.
It's a squeezed in Ariana verse.
Yeah.
And I did some digging and found out that SZA, a little while back, I can't date it, but she remixed it herself, unreleased. Obviously, it was released, but it wasn't actually like finalized, mixed, and mastered and released with The Weeknd.
Yeah.
But we'll link it in the videos for where you can listen to it. The SZA remix is so much better. I think her voice just fits that style of that song, and her flow and lyrical choice is way better than Ariana Grande's.
Well, like the Ariana Grande one, it was just her doing like vocal ad libs in the background in places vocal ad libs should not be.
Yeah, she had
Like
she had a little bit of a verse, but you're right.
She did have a verse, but it like again, it was The Weeknd's melodies, lyrics, all that stuff. It wasn't original in any way. Like that kind of drives me nuts when artists do that. There was that one artist, I think we were talking about it like a while back.
What's that?
They had like one viral song. I think it was a girl. She had like one viral song. I think it was a TikTok hit.
Yeah.
And she redid it.
ABCDFU, I think.
Was that it? That might be it. She redid it like
remixes.
15 different, like literally 15 different ways.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Crazy.
Yeah, I feel like you don't need more than maybe 2 at most. If you're doing like an acoustic one that's really good and you're going to release it.
Like just put out new music at that point.
Yeah, just put out music. But that's the problem with TikTok is people don't even know these songs as artists by maybe The Weeknd. They just know it as like a TikTok song. That's a real thing. There are songs, especially ones that come back from like a while ago. I bet more, I'm not going to say majority because I don't know the stats or numbers, but a lot of people, when Running Up That Hill became a viral TikTok song, most people probably didn't know the originality of that song. And that's going to continue because it's just not a platform that really encourages you know, where the origin of songs. Good and bad, I don't know.
Speaking of a TikTok song, a TikTok artist.
Oh, So I'll Wait by Forest Lake. Oh, not that one. Not that one.
Which one were you talking about? That's gonna be. Louis Capaldi wrote a song called "Someone You Love." It's a really good song, actually. But
it's a new release.
No. So he's had that one out for a while, but he played a show in Frankfurt, Germany, and I guess he came out last year saying like he has Tourette's. And so he was playing the show and like he was having like bad symptoms. He was like, you know, all the tics and everything. And he played through them. Like he kept playing and kept singing. And it got to a point where it was like really bad. Like he couldn't really sing, couldn't finish the chorus. And like the whole crowd just went nuts. Like they were helping him out, like singing
That's
it.
so cool.
Yeah, it was good to see.
So there's footage of that?
Yeah.
We'll link that as well because that sounds really, that's like a really wholesome moment. That's pretty sweet. I do know that he just, Behold, who just kind of broke big because of TikTok, she is going to be opening for him on his tours because he's going on tour right now or coming up soon.
It's a TikTok tour.
The TikTok tour.
A T3.
All right. So on the topic of music or newer music, we have some new releases in the industry. Obviously, there's the remix by Ariana Grande and The Weeknd, but we have new music from the Jonas Brothers clocking in with a 1 and 54-second long song. Is
that a song?
It flies by, dude.
Yeah.
It's called Wings, and if you listen to it, it's going to be over before you know it. Which is kind of weird. I think what I call the chorus comes in at 16 seconds. So literally just 2 measures of like what their verse 1 is.
I'd have to break down the structure. Like, is there like one chorus? Like, what is that?
No, they do it twice. And then the second one kind of tags into this like extra post-chorus tag bridge. It is so weird because it's so short. It's how... I don't know. Go listen to it. Let us know your thoughts. But this is from their forthcoming album. And honestly, it's not bad. The more you listen to it, you kind of really bump to it, but it is really short. Also, the Kid Laroi has dropped a new song called "I Guess It's Love." It's mediocre. That's just my personal thoughts. It's just sounds like your typical Kid Laroi song. Nothing like some of the smash hits he's released already. We also have a new release called Hopeful by Odessa for our EDM fans.
I do like Odessa.
I love Odessa. This doesn't compare to their previous work. What I will say, and I shouldn't take away from Odessa, but there's a guy named Tourist who's in EDM, and this song kind of resembled like a Tourist vibe, because I really do enjoy this guy named Tourist, and I recommend you to go listen to Tourist if you like that like EDM, but it's the EDM that is more, it's all instrumental, but it really puts you in like a mood. It's like cinematic EDM. It's really cool.
Dude, it's kind of crazy how much work goes into like EDM songs.
Yeah, it's not easy. That's why I used to believe that it was like they didn't do much. Or like even a DJ at a live set, they do a lot. It actually does require talent.
Yeah, like you pull up a Pro Tool session, like that producer put 100 hours into a song. Like it's crazy. Every
little sound, every little beat, even the minute things that you probably don't even notice as you listen to it.
It's all automation. It's all automated. Like all that's by hand.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, for the pros, I'm sure you can piece together some pretty simple EDM not doing that. Other new music, I think that's about it for that. I only have 2 other things to talk about. What do you have for the crowd here?
Uno Mas. It's not a for sure thing, but it's kind of, I guess, in the works, and it's being talked about. So Spotify is rumored to launch like a vertical scrolling homepage now.
Okay.
Similar to like
is that not how it is on the iPhone?
Well, similar to a TikTok.
Oh, great.
Like TikTok's discovery page where now like you can scroll and discover.
Are you on TikTok? How'd you know Telepatia was a TikTok song?
Just on it, man.
You're on fucking
I'm
TikTok.
just on it.
You're on
No. But so TikTok is going to be attending an event in LA called Stream On. And I guess that's where they're going to unveil new features, and everyone's saying that they're going to release this vertical scrolling homepage.
Okay.
So we'll see. Also, I have noticed with Spotify's search bar, like their search functionality, it's gotten a lot better.
Really?
Like it's, I wouldn't say like AI. They didn't do that yet, but like it's very good.
What do you like
It's gotten
more,
a
their
lot better.
desktop version or their iPhone version?
Probably their iPhone version.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Desktop is kind of annoying if you're scrolling through albums. You have to scroll through like literally every single song on every album.
But you don't like that it's like at least like fits the screen nice and big and wide.
That's all right.
On your phone.
I'm indifferent to it. But also they just released a DJ feature, which is AI. So it's basically like a personalized DJ on your phone, on your app, with like a human voice that's going to be talking to you. And they released like a demo of it, and it literally sounds so cool. It's like, hey, yo, Tyler, I'm your DJ. I got some new beats for you. This one, you're in a little bit of a sad mood. Here's a playlist for you.
It's a real human voice.
And it sounds just like that. Like, it's crazy.
You know, that reminds me of my Nike Run Club app that I use.
Did they do that?
After I finish a run. So they've been doing it, but I think it's an actual trainer that they had pre-record messages, but they do get it to say your name. So you'll finish a run and it's like, hey, Tyler, this is Jim. Awesome run today, man. Keep it up and you're going to be...
Yeah.
It's like
It's kind of like that. Yeah.
I will say it is cool that they do that. So I'm actually pretty excited to see that. Maybe it'll get me to use Spotify more because I'm obviously an Apple Music guy.
What I think is cool is Spotify acquired this London-based company that specialized in like AI voice.
Yeah.
AI voice generation. I think the company is called like Somatic or Sonatic or something like that. But so they built this voice based off of like a real person, a real human. But they also built the voice model for Val Kilmer in Top Gun Maverick.
Really?
Yeah, because I guess in this movie, in the scene, he wasn't really talking. He was losing his voice. You know, he had some sort of disease or something. So it was AI. That his voice was AI. That was crazy. By this company that Spotify just bought.
As we've talked about last week, AI is going to change the world. It is the future.
Yeah.
AI, actually, I was thinking about it when I was driving the other day. It's already been around. Like when you go to the grocery store and they have the self-checkout, is that not a form of AI? Like the fact that you don't even need a human person, you have this machine that'll just do it for you. Like
That's not AI. That's just a computer, and then you're controlling the computer.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So I guess the artificial intelligence is the ability to adapt in real time or change like what you can do. I don't know. It's probably more complex than I'm aware
more like
of,
machine learning or something.
But this evolving computer ability of doing things that humans can't do, or doing things like humans can do and doing them better, I guess. We've seen it for a while now. It's just, now it's getting to the point where it's like almost mimicking humans, basically replacing us. We don't need ourselves anymore.
That's the hard part, is like getting AI to be sentient.
Yeah.
And then you're done.
Yeah.
That's when it takes
Let's
over.
be the first AI band. Foresight goes AI. I don't know how that's possible.
Yeah, I have so many questions.
Me too, but that's the point. AI will figure it out for us. It already does everything already.
Tired AI lawyer.
You can do, dude. So you can take a video on video.ai. There's a lot of .ais out there, and you give it like a 30-minute long video, and it'll cut like 30-second clips for you to post, and it'll title it based off of what you're actually saying in that video, that clip. So like it does stuff for you. It makes everything so much nicer and easier. So point is, it will be the future, and as we talked about with low rules and laws, it's going to get kind of crazy, especially in the music industry.
Yeah.
In any industry, probably.
We'll see how that gets governed.
Yes,
for sure.
Okay, moving forth, the last two things we're going to talk about today. David Bowie. So before we started our podcast in January of last year, because we didn't start till the summer, Warner Music Group bought his catalog for $250 million. The estate sold it. In 2025, the Victoria and Albert Museum, which is basically an applied arts museum in London, is going to be displaying 80,000 items of David Bowie.
80,000?
Yes. Well, he's had a 55-year-long career, and rest in peace. He passed away in 2016. David Bowie, I don't think younger generations really know who Ziggy Stardust is, right? The AKA Ziggy Stardust. He was an artist. He was an icon, cultural icon, and artistic genius. In the 80s, 90s, and even the 2000s. Even for myself, humbly, I would say I don't know as much David Bowie as I should or would like to. Across his music, and just him as a person. But Nile Rodgers, who we've talked about before, as far as being the guy who's kind of purchasing up catalogs with the TikTok company, and also just being a legendary guitarist. He basically spoke on behalf of David Bowie, saying, aside from the Beatles, the only other person up there that should be kind of receiving this kind of museum would be David Bowie among everybody else. So he's got and that's a respect to Nile Rodgers to say, hey, Nile Rodgers is a guy that you would trust what he says, because he's a music legend, still alive, still doing great things. So to hear him say that, and just to know, David Bowie was nobody to forget.
David Bowie's guitar player, Earl Slick, signed my guitar.
Earl Slick, we played with Earl Slick. He's
a cool dude.
Earl Slick was the sweetest dude.
Yeah.
Story on that, maybe a bonus episode. School of Rock. Shout out to the School of Rock, baby. In Strongsville, Ohio, Earl Slick stopped by and we played in-house with him. He came by, we took pictures. He was in the newspaper.
Was he?
Yeah, it made the newspaper, the Strongsville newspaper. Not that that's like big newspaper. It's a big deal. It's sitting in my parents' house. There's like a picture of the headliners with Earl Slick. And so Earl Slick was, I don't know is he still alive? He might be.
I would think so. Yeah. He wasn't that old.
Really cool dude. Yeah. You look at him, he looks like rock and roll.
Yeah.
Just dresses like it.
I think that was the first time I've ever seen someone wear like, I don't want to call it a cape, but like
he had like leather pants, I feel like, and he had some cool jacket cape thing.
Like one of those jackets where it just goes shoulder to floor.
Yeah. Super nice dude though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to cap this episode off, we are going to touch on just something small that I thought was stupid. I know the Super Bowl is well past, but Rihanna's Super Bowl halftime show obviously drew some criticism from the twerking and the crotch grabbing, and the Karens out there in the world just decided to write the complaints.
They're tearing Rihanna apart?
Yeah, so the FCC is the Federal Communications Committee, and they basically handle complaints of like things that happen on TV. So they are attacking Rihanna for it being pornographic and yada, 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 yada. But
interesting.
I think it's just a combination of this was the third most watched Super Bowl, so you have a lot more eyes on it. So a lot more people are going to have a lot more opinions on it. In comparison, there was at the Grammys a Sam Smith and Kim Petras live showing of their song Unholy, which was deemed satanic, and that didn't even draw that much criticism, but I think that's because many people didn't watch the Grammys as much as the Super Bowl.
Yeah, definitely not.
And to give it some comparison, many of you may or may not know Nipplegate. You know Nipplegate?
Nipplegate?
Nipplegate.
No.
In 2004, Justin Timberlake unveiled the breast of, what's her name? I'm totally blanking on it. Janet Jackson. It was known as Nipplegate. It was a big deal.
Nipplegate?
I saw it on live TV. It was actually kind of awesome. And you could go look it up on YouTube. But
well, I'm sure that was filed
that might have been
to
the first
FCC.
That might have been the first boob I ever saw in my life.
Nipplegate?
7 years old.
Oh.
Watching the Super Bowl. Can you imagine
Janet
that?
Jackson.
Can you imagine the mothers of 2004 just like sitting there watching the Super Bowl with their children and a boob just shows up on TV?
That's funny.
Shout
out to Timberlake.
It was a wardrobe malfunction, and he was right behind her, had his arm in front of her, like kind of like one arm hugging her from behind, and then went to go like swipe away, and it exposed her breast, full boob on television. For comparison, that drew over 540,000 complaints from the FCC. So Rihanna's only got just over 100, just to kind of compare, like, okay, it's really not that big of a deal. You just have people that are going to complain.
Yeah.
But
wow,
just felt like sharing it because, it's kind of funny.
Nipplegate. Yeah, that's new.
Yeah. Also, by the way, there are people who saying Rihanna's show was anti-Semitic because the majority of those songs either featured or were produced by Kanye, and some very Orthodox or pro-Jewish people were coming out and saying it was a very anti-Semitic showing, that she played those songs that were produced or written by Kanye because of obviously Kanye's anti-Semitism.
Is that going to be a thing now? Like anything that Kanye's worked on now falls into that category? Like,
I'm Jewish, and I think she's completely false in stating that this was an anti-Semitic showcase.
I don't think so at all.
I don't think so at all. I think although he did write and produce those songs, I don't think there was any means of anti-Semitism, and most people didn't. There was no showing of anti-Semitism regardless of who worked on those songs. Now, had Kanye been there, maybe it'd been a problem because of current events. Had Kanye's verse been played in one of those songs, surely maybe could have left that out. But I don't think her playing songs that are also hers, whether or not they were written by or produced by Kanye West, are anti-Semitic based off of recent events of Kanye West. So I do think it is interesting. We see more and more now people do accuse and, want to like attack things preemptively.
That's all they do.
Yeah.
People have too much time.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hobbies.
It's kind of aggressive. I've scrolled through numerous articles online about it and just seeing what people are saying about it, and just to see people saying both sides, like, you guys are ridiculous. This is just it's a music show. It's her songs.
Yeah, exactly.
Give her some credit that, or cut her some slack that what else would she play? Regardless of what Kanye did in the past,
right?
Or has done currently.
Yeah, like imagine that. Like if we stuck with the same producer like our entire career, and then something bad happens to that producer, our entire catalog is now trashed. Yeah. Like
there is I think there's a line, right? You don't want to go out promoting Kanye because of recent things, but the songs that were written in the past, let them be what they were. We still listen to, I'm sure people still listen to Michael Jackson. We talked about it last week. I still listen to Michael Jackson, or people that have committed other crimes. I don't know. It's just a thing that we can't look too heavily into unless there's blatant, anti-Semitism or racism or this, that, or the third.
Sure.
But with that being said, I think we're going to wrap this episode up.
That's all I got.
Because we have said more than enough about what's going on in the music industry this week, and we'll save everything else for next week. And we mentioned again, and I just like to say that we have some new stuff coming up on the show, and that's all we're going to say.
Oh, interesting.
So we're going to let you ponder what that is. If you made it this far into the episode, thank you so much for watching and sticking with us, or just being a cool person. And hopefully you're having a great weekend. As always, I'm Tyler.
I'm Brendan.
And we're in a band called Forest Lake with a song called So I'll Wait, streaming on all platforms. So go check it out. And in the meantime, we will catch you next week.
See ya.
Peace.